How do preachers officiate at a wedding, and what do they say? If you are new to pastoring or new to a community, these are normal questions, and here are a few hints that I hope will be helpful. First, find out what's expected in a wedding service in your area, but probably nothing will be more helpful than asking experienced pastors in your community, what are the local norms? Don't worry that you will appear inexperienced. Everyone has to learn at some point, and you serve your people well when you make the wedding dear to them. There are lots of variations in the order, formality, and wording of some things, like the wedding and ring vows, unity candles, music selections, and parents' participation. But other matters are pretty much standard, such as when the bride enters the service, how the groom receives her, and how the bride and groom address vows to each other, and what the preacher says to bless the marriage. If the couple is interested in a formal ceremony, there are books and websites on wedding etiquette that will let you know on which side the bride's family sits, the order of the bridal procession, and the family members that should be in the reception line. For such matters, having a wedding coordinator for your church or this particular service is a great blessing. But recognize that other couples will prefer informality and simplicity that should also be honored. Even if the wedding is very formal, the preacher can usually put people at ease to enjoy the service with a simple rehearsal. A helpful first step is for the preacher to line up the wedding party, bridesmaids, groommen, bride and groom, in the positions they will assume when the bride and groom exchange vows. Briefly run through the service order so that readers and musicians know when they participate, and so that the bride and groom have a sense of how things will progress. Then have the wedding participants walk out of the room in reverse order to how they will enter when the service starts. That way everybody knows the order in which they will enter and the place they will stand for the service. Run through it a time or two and all will go well. Now, all weddings have a few baubles, but if you're not bothered, all will be fine. Now, what does the preacher say at the wedding? Usually, in addition to the ceremonial words and vows, there's a brief message, a wedding homily. Here are some guidelines for that. First, pick an appropriate biblical text, verses that describe God's intentions and promises for marriages that honor Him, will bless everyone. Be brief. The average wedding homily is only 7 to 10 minutes, unless the couple has requested a formal sermon. A long message with deep insights into the original Greek text will seem insensitive and out of touch. Remember how many people are standing and how nervous they are. The focus should be on God's guidance and blessing for this couple. So be personal, mentioning something special about the couple and tying it to a gospel truth bearing on marriage is a good way to begin. This will allow you to develop a theme with 2 or 3 ideas from the biblical text that will encourage the couple. Remember to be encouraging. This is the time to speak for Christian marriage and not against society's or their parents' mistakes. Celebrate the joys of marriage that can unite hearts in the greatest blessing of this earth apart from our salvation itself. The joy of being spiritually and physically one with another in Christ should not be obscured by a somber lecture on avoiding marriage problems. This is not the time for a course on budgeting, lovemaking, fair fighting, or divorce prevention. Make the message your gift to these who are seeking God's guidance and blessing for their marriage by focusing them on Christ. Be redemptive. Celebrate His grace. Proclaim God's forgiveness as the model and hope for our own. Present Christ as the marriage bonder. His love is our strength and motivation for relationships that honor Him and bless us. Make the implications of the cross for marriage clear. Selfless service is the true cement of lifelong relationships. Love for Christ, because He first loved us, is the commitment that fuels all others. when life's trials and human weakness would otherwise drain our hearts dry. Acceptance beyond deserving, approval despite imperfection, forgiveness for the unforgivable, reconciliation without regret, joy in a life shared, and love without end, all find their source in Jesus. You have nothing more important or blessed to say to this couple. Take them to Him. Let His love frame theirs, and His love will keep theirs.